Welcome back to SPC Fab, and in this video we're going to be putting the freshly rebuilt Krylon Kenny rebuild back in the TURRD, so that way we can get it in there bolted down for the final time and not have to take it back out. Start bolting stuff on it that we can leave and make this TURRD run. All right, let's get to it. I'm entirely too fat for this. Oh, that's pretty close. Going down. Alright, see if we can't scooch this thing up on there. Slide it back together. Oh yeah. This is a heavy mojo. Thank you. Alright, we might need to tilt back a little bit. So, we need to pick up a little bit. Well, there's one. There's the other one. Alright, let's pick her up a little bit more. Are we leaking down? I don't think so. There we go. Look at that. Like it was meant to be. All right. Now, we get to put it back in. How convenient. We might have to modify this hose vent thing up a little bit, because I don't think we really need all this. Well, we might modify some of that up. Maybe just put the one on there. Okay. Now we should be able to stuff it back in the truck. Alright, well, we gotta clean up our mess. I guess I need to put the dipstick tube back on. Let's do that first. I gotta go get my nut. Sturdy as a piece of duct tape. Alright. So now we should be able to stuff it back in the truck after we clean up this mess. Sweep the floor so that the cherry picker will roll. Alright guys, we have returned with the vintage safety glasses. and we're going to flappy wheel and clean this spot up right here that I butchered out for the air conditioning compressor to fit. And we're going to get this cleaned up. We're going to clean the chassis up a little bit, paint a little bit in here. We're not going to spend a lot of time on it, just clean it up a little bit. And we're going to change out these old motor mounts. I mean, I put these motor mounts in here brand new, but that was like 3 motors ago. So we got some nice energy motor mounts and transmission mount that I had left over from something, and we're going to use them. This one's pretty good. This one's not so good. So we're going to go ahead and give it a little upgrade while we're upgrading everything else. I need to get a hammer and knock that piece of slag off. That'll probably help out a little bit. Not as pretty as I wanted it to be, but it ain't bad. I could go back in there and trim it a little bit more and make it nice and a little more round, but it's got to have more room right in there for the fitness, so I think it's going to be all right. All right. Now I guess we need to take the old motor mounts off and put the new motor mounts on. Well, we probably just need to take the old motor mounts off, clean it up, paint it, and then put the new motor mounts on. That way we ain't got to tape up around the motor mounts. All right, guys, we're back. We're gonna finish this cleaning up right fast. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, just a little bit, but there's a few things we want to clean up, make a little nicer when we paint it. I mean, it's still pretty nice. We painted it when we put it together, but, you know, stuff leaks oil. So we're trying to get some of the leaky oil off, and we did steam clean it, so that helped a lot. But we're going to freshen it up a little bit here, best we can. Just remember, you ain't gonna want it perfect, but you want it nice, and the more time you spend on it, the nicer it will be. If you want it to be really, really nice, you gotta spend a lot more time on it. This side over here probably needs a little love. She's a little janky. But we can work on that after we get the motor back in. This actually looks pretty good. We'll go around to the other side and investigate that situation. I gotta find my brush. There it is. Alright. Yeah, this side ain't that bad. When you steam clean it, it helps so tremendously. You don't have nowhere near as much junk to scrub off of it when you steam clean one. If y'all guys need some help with the steam cleaning, let me know. Let's steam clean you up. I am gonna have to clean that out though. There's a little bit right there that evidently we missed the steam clean. Not a lot. Alright, let's blow that off wipe it down, put a little rust reformer on it, and then all we gotta do is change these motor mounts, and we'll be good to go. I had some aftermarket motor mounts, I thought, but turns out they don't fit this. I don't know what they fit. I don't remember, but I'll just go by the parts house and pick up 2 new ones of these. This one's pretty okay. This one, not so okay. But I'll just pick up some just plain Jane new ones and keep on riding. Might not be perfect, but it'll be okay for riding purposes. Not too shabby. Let me just hit this up a little bit. I like to put that truck bed stuff on here, but you know, try to get this going on some of the spots, just that we're not going to put it on real thick. I don't want it on thick, just enough to make it look good. I think that's pretty much going to get her fixed up right there. We'll hit it with a little rattle can here in a second, and it'll really look good. All right, we're back. All right, I'm gonna have to go get us another can. Y'all remember me telling y'all I always get the cans with the jacked up sprayer? Never fails. Never fails. No matter what kind, where I buy it from, I always get the one with the jacked up sprayer. See, this one didn't even come with a sprayer. They get gypped every time with spray paint cans. Killing me, Smalls. Boy, that about knocked you guys over. Look at that. Cryoline Kenny goes a long way. Just like that, it looks better. All right, we're going to change these motor mounts and put the motor in. All right, guys, now that we got our spray paint dried off, we're going to change out these motor mounts right fast. And then we're going to see about putting the motor in. I might need something a little different. Give me a ratchet stick back there so it's got a little depth to it. Look at that. Look at that, we got some brand new factory replacement ones from the old O'Reillys. They had them in stock, can you believe it? All right, now what did I do with the other bolt? Got the nut, here's the bolt, okay. Something is not stirring the Kool-Aid here. All right, here we go. All right, one down, one to go. Look at that. This one is the one that is junk. Hold on, is there something different about this one? Why does this one look different? Oh yeah, it won't fit that way. Okay. I was doing it right. Carry on, carry on, carry on. I said we was gonna put the motor in, but I'm gonna have to flare this fitting right here so that we can, and drill a hole in it right there to put that bracket back on, to hold that off, so that we can put the fuel line in. Forgot about that. See, the original fuel line runs down through here, and then I had put a sniper EFI thing on this thing one time. Bad idea. That was the worst mistake I ever did in my life. And but I had to have a return line for EFI and put EFI and stuff on it. So I had ran a hard line down through there, and so I'm just going to use this hard line because it's one hard line from the front to the back, and it don't have any splices in it or hoses or anything. So I'm going to use that one for my pressure line because I only got one line coming up here now because it's going to have a fuel pressure like the Corvette style with the fuel pressure regulator filter in the back, so it'll only have one line coming up here. So I'm going to use this one, but I'm going to flare it so that I'm going to put a flare on it, and so that I can put a 6AN on it and just run a 6AN line to the motor. Well, since this is a 5/16 return line instead of a 3/8, now I'm going to have to take all this off and change this to a 3/8. And I'll probably go ahead and take this other one off while I'm doing it, since we're not going to be using either one of those any longer. So I guess we're going to go ahead and put the motor together and start putting the motor in so we can stay productive. Alright guys, we got our mess cleaned up. You got to clean up the mess for the cherry picker. Them things don't roll on dirt real good. Rocks, zip ties, pebbles. Them things don't roll on anything real good. Well, we got our mess cleaned up. We're going to stuff this motor in, and so we can start putting stuff together permanently that we don't have to take back off. We ain't got much more time. We got to have this thing running by November. Come on now. If you don't have this air-powered thing on your cherry picker, you are messing up. I ain't kidding. We are going to have to find something to sit in there to pick it up a little higher though. All right. Probably not going to roll now the way we want it to. I'm sure not. All right. All right. Look at that. We're getting closer, guys. Look at that. Now, if we can do this without bashing it down in here. Easy, easy. All right. Down a little bit more. Alright, we got to come back this way a little bit. Over this way just a little bit. Over. Alright. Now we're too far that way. Imagine that. Block out here. Should be able to let it down a little bit here. But we got to pull it back over this way. Alright, let's go down just a little. Alright, now I got to get my board and jack up the transmission because I got to set it on top of the cross member that's in there, even though we're going to change that cross member. But if I can set it down in there and get the motor mounts in, I can change the cross member. We may not have backed up about 3 miles too far, so now we got to try to shove it backwards. We're going to have to, ow, that hurt. Back up a little bit, but that ain't bad. End of the world, I don't think. Alright, back up just a little. Not ideal. Okay. Oh yeah, look at that. Perfect. Now we gotta do, shove it in there. Look at that. Well, we're gonna have to raise her up just a piece of while though. All right. And back. Okay, we're still hitting. A little bit more. Probably too much on one side and not enough on the other. Imagine that. Yeah, we got to come back this way. About a day and a half anyway. Probably not going to be able to do this left-handed. Oh, that was a bit much. Okay, yeah, we got to come back forward just about a mile. And shove it yonder way. All right. Now it needs to come yonder way. Alright, look at that. Alright. Should be able to slide the motor mounts up now and put the motor mount bolts in. Which is gonna suck. I gotta find a light. Y'all probably need lights too, because y'all probably can't see nothing. I got to find lights. All right, now that we're back with lights and lineup punches, maybe we can get something accomplished. That one ain't that bad, actually. I need to go up just a pinch. Why is it going up on that side, not this side? All right, right there. Now what I do with the bolt, I just had my hand. There it is. Ah, how convenient. All right, one bolt in, going to the other side. All right, oh, got my line up too. All right, now we got to go up and over. We're gonna have to square this thing up, that's for sure. It needs to come this way about 3 days. That one does not need to go through that way, because then you'll have to take it all the way back to work to get it What do I do with the nut? I've lost said nut. Like I hadn't moved anywhere. How did you lose the nut and didn't go anywhere? All right, we found the nut. Turns out it was still in the bag. It said motor mount bolts. Imagine that. All right. We should be able to let that down now and get that out of the way, and then we can square it up and bolt it down tight, which would be amazing. Look, we don't need this chair clip anymore. Look at that. The truck has an LS. Now all we gotta do is make it run. And see, I whacked out these pieces so that hopefully I'm never gonna be able to get that fuel line changed, so we're gonna have to redo that somehow else. But hopefully now I can make these AC lines fit. Hopefully. That one's gonna be close. This one's got mad room, but that one's gonna be close. Do I have a fitting I can screw on that? And try it? Yes. I don't know if this one's gonna fit or not. If I could screw it on it and then put it down on there, it might. I don't know. I don't know about that. That might get broke. Because motor Yeah, that's how it's gonna go down when the motor moves. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work or not. We might have to actually grind that out just a little bit more right there. But it's pretty close. We're gonna make something happen. Promise. All right. In that case, we're pretty okay right there. I'm gonna get these things bolted down and tightened up. That's probably gonna do it for this episode right here. And then, cause I got all the painting and putting it in, getting all that done. So we'll put all that together, get that edited, because it took me long enough to do all this. And then we're gonna get started changing the cross member, cleaning up the accessory drive, bolting all that on, the Hallmark balancer on, changing this fuel line that's the wrong size, taking that fuel line off, doing all that stuff and getting it ready to go. Thinking about taking my manifolds up to jet hot and getting them coated and getting them ready to put back on. I've got to order the bracket now for the air condition and stuff to make the exhaust. And we're gonna go ahead and spend a little extra and make a pretty nice exhaust for this thing, because it never had a good exhaust. It was all just cut up junk. So we might go ahead and spend a little bit and make us a pretty nice exhaust. I've never built a full stainless exhaust for anything I own. I did some full stainless exhaust, just nothing for me. So I think I might go stainless on this one. I think we might go stainless and TIG weld it all together and make like a nice stainless exhaust for this thing. All right, well, keep watching and keep a fat guy motivated, because we've got to get this thing going.